RISIA confirms submission of candidates by political parties. Journalists say billions at risk if Rivers local government election is annulled. Group tackles FCT minister over comments on local government elections. Police arrest killers of lawyer in Port Harcourt. And on the foreign scene, Irish missionary child among 9 kidnapped from Haiti orphanage. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. The Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, says all political parties in the state have submitted the names of candidates who emerged from Saturday's primaries. The commissioner in charge of political parties affairs, monitoring and security, Godfrey Woke, made this known in an interview with correspondent Soibi Oruwari while speaking about the deadline given to political parties to submit successful candidates. Professor Woke also spoke about the monitoring of Saturday's primaries across the state.
First of all, the primary was very successful because we had 16 parties that went to local governments. We also sent our monitoring to the various local governments. The report they gave to us that most parties conducted their primaries, while some had to do their own on Sunday, which was yesterday. The implication of this is that at the end of today, we're expecting that all the political parties should be able to send the names of their elected chairmanship and councilorships.
Meanwhile, a political scientist, Dr. Obinna Nwodim, is urging the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, to strictly follow the guidelines in the conduct of the local government elections. Dr. Nwodim, a lecturer in the Department of Political Science at the University of Port Harcourt, made this known in an interview with correspondent Onyeka Chinwosu. He warned that failure to adhere to the rules will result in a waste of time and resources of Rivers State.
The electoral management body should look at the electoral rules and play by the rules of engagement so that we don't get to a stage where all the processes, like we have seen in the past, will be a wasted venture. We are talking about scarce resources. Even those who are going to court, taking through the litigation process, they also are spending money to do all that. So if at the end of the day, elections are held and they are overturned by the court, it amounts to waste of the taxpayers' money.
Dr. Nwodim further stated that if the election is annulled, it would amount to both economic and political waste.
In the past few months, we have noticed that the economic situation in the state is not friendly. Nothing seems to be moving forward based on the political situation, which has affected the economy. And there is no state that has all the money. Every money that comes to the state should be applied prudently. So if you have a situation where you waste so much resources to carry out a political activity, and at the end of the day, it is declared null and void, then it is a sad development for the development of the state.
However, a journalist, Olalekon Ige, has said it may be too early to determine the result of the election.
Early to determine whether the election will pass the rudiments of the law or not. I'm aware that the INEC chairman has stated that the minimum number of days you need to give before conducting local government election is 90 days. But then, when RISIEC met with stakeholders, it said it was only postponing the election. Apparently, they were predicating their postponement on an earlier date already fixed by the suspended RISIEC.
Mr. also warned that if the election is annulled again, an estimated 3 billion naira would have been wasted. As you may know, a group, the Initiative for Transparency and Good Governance, has filed a lawsuit challenging appointments into RISIEC. Other civil society groups have also threatened legal action if RISIEC goes ahead. The national interest body in 21 days, Elonu Wibu-Basa, has disagreed with the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike over his claim that the Rivers State Sole Administrator has the power to conduct the August 30 local government elections in the state. Dr. Wibu-Basa said the Sole Administrator has no legal powers to oversee democratic structures, while reacting to today's comments made by Wike.
Continuous stay is illegality, so every of his action is illegality. Continuous stay of the sole administrator and all his actions, including the purported conduct of the local government election that has been completely disparaged by the INEC boss, that even the statutory 90 days that has to be given was not followed. And so we are in a country where impunity is reigning supreme, and it is unfortunate.
Wibu-Basa described the PDP and APC Saturday's primaries as an end-of-year activity full of impunity.
APC and PDP in Rivers State has become end-of-year party, no longer a political party, because political parties are separated by ideologies. And if there is no ideological difference between APC and PDP, because it is under the control who feels that his actions are right because he's covered by the government in power, I want to say that Rivers people must wake up to liberate their state. You cannot sit down and the 23 local government chairmen are nominated by one man. An end will come to this.
Also, Professor of Politics and Governance Kenneth Wike has accused the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike of justifying illegality for political gain. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, Professor Wike insisted that the appointment of retired Vice Admiral Ibokata Ibas as sole administrator in Rivers State is unconstitutional, and he lacks the legal authority to perform democratic functions. He questioned why the sole administrator has not constituted a state executive council, if indeed he believes he has such powers.
For me, the FCT minister says the sole administrator has the right. Of course, that aligns with his own political interest. So what else will anyone expect from him other than support the sole administrator in the quest to actualize his own political interest? But for me, I do not also believe that the existence of the sole administrator is lawful, and I also believe that it is against the gun norm and extant laws to declare in the first instance a state of emergency in a state like ours and any other for that matter, and suspend all the democratic structure, including the executive arm and the legislative arm in the first instance.
On the issue of local government funds in the event of a state of emergency extension, the professor said Wike should have raised his concerns earlier if his intentions were truly genuine.
If local government funding is being on, even with the sole administrator and the emergency rule, then what would be wrong in 2 months that the governor comes back with assembly members? There is a whole bunch of illegality and shenanigans that are happening in Rivers State, and that we must, as a people, condemn when we need to condemn, irrespective of who is favoring today. Because as far as I'm concerned, history will remember everyone. History will remember everyone for whatever inaction we take, against the people of the state. Because as far as I'm concerned, rushing to conduct local government election is an act to build a party structure which the suspended governor would have ordinarily built.
Still to come, police arrest killers of lawyer in Port Harcourt. Stay tuned. The convener of the Rivers Peace Initiative, Obinna Egbogidi, has advised stakeholders, including members of civil society organizations in Rivers State, not to instigate a crisis that could lead to waste the opportunity offered by RISIEC to enthrone democratic structures at the grassroots. Mr. Egbogidi gave the advice while commenting on the various concerns raised by critical stakeholders regarding the conduct of the August 30 local government elections in the state.
We acknowledge the concerns raised by civil society voices and political actors, particularly as it concerns legality, timelines, and transparency. These are valid questions in any democracy, but we must not appeal to the collective conscience of Rivers people. Rivers State has paid too high a price economically, socially, and institutionally for prolonged political instability. This is not an endorsement of RISEC, neither a dismissal of those who disagree with its process.
Egbogidi, however, urged RISEC to ensure robust engagement with the people as a means of building public trust.
Aggrieved parties have every right to seek legal redress. But let us do this in ways that uphold public trust, safeguard peace, and support the common good. When advocacy descends into chaos, we risk destroying the very future we claim to fight for. The revised RISEC timeline, though imperfect, offers a constitutional path forward. While the Commission should do more to deepen public confidence, the alternative, which is a continued democratic vacuum, is far more dangerous.
Away from that, the Rivers State Police Command says all those involved in the killing of one lawyer, Bright Owo, have been identified and apprehended. The lawyer was killed by gunmen on the 6th of July. Spokesperson of the command in a statement named the suspects as 30-year-old Prince Samuel, 25-year-old Daniel Godwin, who was a driver, 24-year-old Henry Peter, who was an arms supplier, and the one who shot the victim, 30-year-old Godfrey Emmanuel, who was a gang leader, 34-year-old Chukwu Nnaji, 27-year-old Justice Dinkpa, and 27-year-old Promise Wikere. The statement said the suspects confessed to being cult members and their roles in a crime, including the withdrawal of funds from the victim's account and their involvement in a recent cult-related violence in Diobu, Port Harcourt. Moving on, the president of the Student Union Government at Rivers State University, Rizi Wisdom Awabia, has called on the school's host community to regulate the number of businesses operating around the campus. Speaking in an interview, Wisdom Awabia linked the growing insecurity on campus to the rowdy business and activities near the university, which could attract criminal elements.
You will notice that at the main gate and the back gate, there are a lot of businesses. And these businesses are not controlled by the school management. It's controlled by the community. The community should also help, because these students come to this place and they want to feel safe. But if there are so many rowdiness both outside main gate and back gate, you will notice that criminals can easily come into the school. Because when people come in, you cannot chase them. Community should help. This is me pleading with them.
Wisdom Awabia also suggested that businesses along the school road be relocated to a designated area to improve security and order. In another development, tragedy was averted this afternoon near the popular Rumokoro roundabout after a Volkswagen bus reportedly hit a teenage boy. Eyewitnesses told our correspondent that the bus was driving against traffic from the Bori Camp gate when the incident occurred. According to them, it took the swift intervention of passers-by to rush the injured boy to the hospital. The eyewitnesses further alleged that soldiers stationed at the Bori Camp gate collect 100 naira from bus drivers to allow them drive against traffic.
We're having a lot of casualties here between these bus drivers and pedestrians. Each time they keep running one way from that Bori camp. I noticed that they normally pay money for those army people there for them to run one way with high speed. 2 weeks ago, they hit a pregnant woman down. Today again, a young boy was crossing the road. The vehicle, Vanagon, just hit the guy. The guy was so unconscious. We pray to God that that boy survived. They wanted to burn the vehicle, but the Royal Highness now said they should push the vehicle into his compound.
So now, people used to follow one way. Those Vanagon drivers, they follow one way from Bori
the camp, and they will pay how many people money there, 100 naira, and throw that one way. Today, when one small boy want to cross, the boy have watched the road, cross over to the island. Before the boy will cross to the island, that's Panagon went and jammed him. They want to try to escape. The people that were around there, stampeding him and bring him down. Right now, I'm talking to you. We are praying for the boy to survive.
The eyewitnesses also said this is not the first time such an incident has happened in the area and are calling on relevant authorities to take immediate action. They said curbing the practice of driving against traffic is necessary to prevent future occurrences.
What we are saying is that the government come into this matter and help us. These people running one way in this room, Okoro, as they are causing a lot of havoc for us here. Even the Awalama women, they wanted to go on a protest to the Royal Highness that they should do something about this. Let them stop them to run that one way. It's very bad. Even there's no hold up.
Some residents of Port Harcourt have expressed concern that real achievements no longer receive the recognition they deserve compared to entertainment shows and social media trends. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, some said they now prefer distractions like Big Brother to avoid thinking about the country's challenges. Others noted that if the country had a better economy, national wins would have been celebrated more widely than online drama or reality TV.
To me, people are now more interested in entertainment than achievement. Some parents, they don't even have time to go and sit down and be watching sports because of the situation of the country. I prefer to sit down and watch what will make me laugh, enjoy myself and forget my story.
I believe and I think Big Brother is trending more because it's something everyone knows happens every year. Everything is an achievement instead of hype for Big Brother.
People's interest have shifted because of the economy. So the economy has affected a lot of Nigerians, and someone that is hungry, you don't expect him to go and start celebrating, soccer, unlike before. Entertainment should not surpass soccer achievement or trophies.
On the international scene, 9 people, including an Irish missionary and a 3-year-old child, were kidnapped from an orphanage near Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, on Sunday. The facility's director, Gina Herati, was among those taken from the privately run St. Helene Orphanage in Kenskoff during the early hours of the morning. 7 employees and a child were also taken from the orphanage, which cares for more than 240 children, some with disabilities. On the news this evening, you heard RISIAC has confirmed the submission of candidates' names by political parties. A journalist says 3 billion naira is at risk if Rivers local government election is annulled. A group has tackled the FCT minister over his comments on local government elections. Police have arrested all the killers of a lawyer in Port Harcourt. On the foreign scene, Irish missionary and a child are among 9 kidnapped from a Haiti orphanage. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.